Hello and good day.
Hello and good day.
First, I wanted to show my appreciation for doing and sharing all your knowledge.
And
to
our
all of us.
appreciation to you as well.
Thank you. I have a question that I've been hearing you saying that we as a spirit dreaming
Yes.
as a human physical.
Yes.
And then you just explained to us that actually we're sleeping while we're awake, and then we're
Awake while you're sleeping. Yes.
Okay. And then difficulty for me is that as I am, my understanding of myself is a spirit being having human experience as I am in this physical
Yes.
body.
That's the same thing.
Right.
But you're not actually in the body. Your body is in your spirit. It's just that you focus part of your spirit identity down, and then that particular focus becomes your physical experience. So the spirit is creating the physical body out of its own material. It's like the idea of, I know this is a crude analogy, but the idea of water suddenly focusing a part of itself as ice. And the ice is the physical experience. But it's not like the water is in the ice per se, even though the ice is made of water. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah. So ice is the water. Water is the
You
ice.
are spirit in physical form. It's not that your spirit is in your body. Your body is your spirit in physical form, a part of it.
So how are we forgetting that we are a spirit?
Because the idea is to forget. The focus is so strong. The belief systems that are created within the physical mind are so strong because they have to be that strong in order for you to actually have a physical experience, because physical reality isn't real. So you have to have belief systems that get you to forget that physical reality isn't real, or you can't have a physical experience. It's just an illusion, it's just a dream. So belief systems reinforce the idea through emotions and thoughts and behaviors and experiences that physical reality is actually solid, and it's not.
Okay, so I understand that we are paying more awareness is shifting to the physical rather than the spirit. How do I shift that and expand and have a
You remember the
transition?
formula? Mm-hmm. You follow your passion to the best you can with no insistence or assumption on the outcome. All the rest falls into place. That's how you raise your frequency. That's how you expand your consciousness. That's how you expand your senses to become more aware of the fact that you're creating this reality, and then space and time become more flexible, more malleable, more plastic. You begin to see that it's an illusion. You become lucid in the physical dream, and you can manifest things more consciously because it is simply a projection of consciousness.
So it is a gradual shift. It's not
It's
like
as
one
fast
morning you
or
wake
as
up.
slow as you need it to be
I see.
for you.
I see.
Does that help?
Very much so.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Hello, Bashar.
Andrew, good day.
Thank you so much for being here.
It is our pleasure and our passion.
So, pursuant to our recent conversation about,
One moment. Do we owe you a happy birthday?
yes, thank you. I'm so thrilled to share it with you. Thank you so much for recognizing that and for allowing me to share it with you tonight.
We thank you for sharing it. Please continue.
Thank you. So we recently talked about my high sensitivity to sound and light and some of the challenges
Yes.
that I've been dealing with. And I did some research and I discovered that scientists have found a temperament or a trait called highly sensitive people, and that they say...
Oh, how scientific sounding.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't sound it, but they found that this is a trait and that it's genetic, and
Yes.
and they estimate that 15 to 20% of our population are HSPs.
Well, aren't you unique?
Well, I think I'm curious if most of the people here this weekend are HSPs because
No.
no?
But it could be different in the sense that they might be sensitive to different kinds of vibrations, not necessarily the ones you are calling out.
Right. So I have a friend who's highly sensitive to energy, magnetic energy, chemistry or chemicals. And she senses that she's also a highly sensitive person or an HSP.
Yes, but it's not necessarily a large collective term. Sometimes your scientists are saying, well, it's for this reason that we're calling you that, not necessarily for that reason. But many people are highly sensitive to different forms of energy, different frequencies of reality. Their senses expand as consciousness expands. So you're becoming more and more sensitive to different things that were heretofore invisible or inaudible to you, because that's par for the course of the expansion of consciousness and awareness.
And thank you. And how does that tie into abductees or contactees?
Usually exposure to other realities and other dimensions will heighten the idea of your ability to detect things beyond what people consider the norm, because you're constantly exposed to telepathic communication, to alternate reality vibrations of a higher nature, so on and so forth. It does rub off on you.
So when we've had discussions over the many years that we've been connecting, and you told me that during my childhood, I think starting at 2 or 3 years old, I was having contact. And
Yes.
as I got older as a child, around 9 or 10 or whatever, I would always kind of shut myself in my room and be in my own creative little world.
Yes.
Was that part of the abductee experience as well?
It can be. It can be a response to that experience, yes.
Okay. On a different topic,
Yes.
I heard this weekend that there has been a discovery that many pyramids all around the world they've discovered that mica is covering parts of them, essential parts of them.
Yes, it vibrates at a certain frequency that acts as a very, very sensitive resonator to translate different frequencies of energy and step them down into other forms of energy that are more usable in your physical reality.
Excellent. And I'm intrigued by the Bosnian pyramids, especially the sounds that they're making, the music or noise.
Yes.
Can you expand on that?
I cannot at this time. It is not our purview to do so. Someone else will give you that information.
Okay.
In your language, it's not our job.
Right. You told me many years ago that in addition to being part of the group of women that co-created the crystal skulls, that I also sculpted the standing stones.
Now, again, please remember, when you say I, we're talking about you making connections to those people. It's not you. Mm-hmm. You understand?
Yes.
Just to be clear.
Right.
But you are making connections to those people that did create those crystal skulls. We will be talking about the Council of 13 and the crystal skulls in an upcoming transmission in your Oakland area.
I can't wait to hear it.
You will have to wait. Unless you want to simply stretch your senses and leap forward in time, and then you don't have to wait.
This is true. This is true. Was Stonehenge part of that experience for me in creating or co-creating the standing stones as part of this collaboration?
You are connecting to that as well because it is connected to one of the crystal skulls in the Council of 13.
Oh, okay. And I'm curious about EMF shielding for me. Somebody recommended something called the Hedron. Can you pick up on that?
It only will be perhaps about 67% effective. But it might be a start.
Okay. Is there something better I could try?
By starting with that, you will experiment and discover through your own permission slip synchronicity what may work better for you as a permission slip. Just
Okay.
remember, you yourself are the primary permission slip that's actually making the changes, not the device.
Thank you. And my last question relates to something that Linda Moulton Howe just I learned about this weekend, which is Antarctica.
Yes.
And it's just incredible what she has been researching and other researchers such as Emery Smith have been discussing. Can you expand on that or tell us anything about it?
Be specific.
Who are the entities that have created that environment?
One moment. All we are allowed to say at this time is that it is a faction of a different group of beings that you would call grays, but not the grays you're typically familiar with. You have to understand something very important. When we talk about the idea of the grays being mutated humans from a parallel version of Earth that destroyed their version of Earth and stopped reproducing because of it, and had to find viable human DNA in order to create the hybrid species that would perpetuate their culture, you have to understand that they tunneled into your parallel reality, but also not just your parallel reality, which means other parallel realities that also contain different versions of grays also tunneled into your parallel reality. You're not dealing with one particular group of grays. This is one of the reasons why some of the information is somewhat confusing on your planet. They're not all homogeneous. They may be from different parallel realities with completely different agendas.
Well,
yes?
the grays that I've been familiar with tend to be very small, and I think you've mentioned
They're
that
different.
yeah, and that part of that was genetic to adapt to their underground environment.
Yes, originally.
But the entities in Antarctica created 80-foot ceilings, if I'm not correct.
That is for a very specific purpose that has to do with certain kinds of technology that they understand.
So were they, how tall are they, or were they?
They're not much taller than you. But the idea, on average, humans we mean, but the idea is that they have certain kinds of technology that demand large enclosed resonating chambers to create certain kinds of portals.
Can you tell us how they created those spaces, those buildings?
They were transported from parallel realities.
Through sound?
Sound may be a side effect of it, but no, not fundamentally. It is a different kind of energy manipulation. More electromagnetic, more electrogravitic.
When did they do this? What was the period of time?
About 10,000 of your years ago.
And are they coming back?
They have never left.
So they're there, we're just not able to visibly see them?
Not all the time because of the portals. They know how to shift themselves to different frequencies that are beyond your range of your senses.
Will there be a time in the future or a parallel reality where we will connect with them?
There will be a time when you may know of them. That is a higher probability than actually connecting with them, although there may be some incidents where some people are capable of doing so. But that's another story at another time.
And finally, what's their purpose for doing all of this?
That I cannot tell you.
Thank you.
We are not allowed to.
Okay. Thank you, Bashar.
Thank you.
Hello and good day.
Hello and good day.
So in this holographic creation, I believe I'm a Blue Avian reincarnated here to help with the ascension process of...
You have connections to the idea of the beings that you're referring to. You are an Earth human.
Correct.
Remember that reincarnation is an experiential illusion you can have, but everything exists all at once. Therefore, reincarnation isn't really the issue. It's multiple simultaneous incarnations you make connections to draw information and experience from to aid and assist you in this life, exactly the same way they may be doing the same for you or to you for their lives. But everyone exists at once. As an individual physical being, you have never been any other physical individual, and no other physical individual ever becomes you. Only from the oversoul level can an oversoul say, that's my life, and that's my life, and that's my life, and that's my life, simultaneously. Reincarnation can be experienced as an experience, but that's simply a perspective from within the space-time framework.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So you are connecting to beings that you are referring to as Blue Avians, but you yourself are an Earth human.
Right. So you answered my second question before
Thank
I asked you. So back to the first question. Is there a planetary system that the Blue Avians currently live in, and is their planet inhabitable?
It is. But what you're calling a Blue Avian is not exactly the way that it's represented in your mind, because it's an interpretation from one dimension to another. They do have some traits that symbolize vibrationally the idea of that color and the species that you call avians. But they're not exactly in the way many people on your planet have depicted them at all. They're very different in their own reality.
Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
I can, very briefly. You understand the concept that many of you have referred to also as reptilian?
Mm-hmm.
Yes? Don't be afraid. There's nothing to be afraid of. In a sense, they were the first hybridization using genetic material from what you call the dinosaurs. Yes?
Okay.
And they were genetically altered to be what you call sentient thinking beings. The reason so many of you are afraid in their presence is because they were evolved from what you consider to be an apex predator. And by being in their presence, their vibration, even though they mean you no harm, it triggers what you call the survival mechanism because you consider yourselves to be prey in their presence, even though you're not. The idea of the so-called Blue Avians are an evolutionary offshoot of the reptilians, because if you stop and think about it a moment, you know that a branch of dinosaurs on your planet evolved into what you call birds, yes?
Yes.
Therefore, many scientists on your planet are now beginning to more accurately refer to birds as...
Dinosaurs.
Yes, but specifically avian dinosaurs.
Okay.
Yes?
Yes.
So Blue Avians are an offshoot species, an evolutionary branch off the idea of the original reptilians, so they are cousins in a sense. Yes?
Yes.
And they look a little different than you think.
Okay, and so was Toth a Blue Avian?
Toth is connected to that, but not exactly. Toth is more of an interdimensional being that has many different kinds of connections.
Okay.
But because Toth has many different kinds of connections, or you might say in your language, presents many different faces, Toth can present a Blue Avian face to someone if that is the signature frequency they're operating on.
Okay.
It's like you can dial up whatever face you need to see from Toth if you're dealing with that archetypal consciousness.
Okay.
Does that help?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Maybe.
Or are you more confused than ever?
No, I understand that from yesterday's speech that we have one consciousness, one existence, and we create everything within the hologram, and if we need to create something unique for ourselves, then we create it.
Yes.
I'm wondering why the Blue Avian Toth theme is in my creative hologram.
Well, what does it
now.
do for you? What does that relationship mean to you? What does it symbolize to you? What does it allow you to do that you might otherwise not do?
Probably help the collective consciousness
All
raise
right.
its vibrational frequency.
So that's the particular permission slip that works for the vibrational frequency you chose to be operating on, yes?
Yes.
Because you will call forth whatever symbol works. It's like looking, in a sense, at reality as if it is a living holographic tarot deck. You understand?
Yes.
Because it's all a reflection of different levels of consciousness, the collective consciousness, smaller group consciousnesses, individual consciousnesses. You will call forth whatever symbol represents who you happen to be at any given moment, what vibrational level you're operating on, for what it is you're accomplishing in that moment. Mm-hmm. And it will switch dynamically. Even when you consider the idea of past lives, reincarnation, it's still a dynamically changing thing. You can actually unplug from one life and plug into another one, so that one moment somebody might say, well, you had a past life in so-and-so. A week later, the same person might say, well, I don't see that one anymore. Now you had a past life in so-and-so and so. It can be true because you unplug and plug into different things dynamically all the time as you change, because you need different things. You need different inputs at different times because you're a different person.
Now, when you said the higher soul,
The higher self.
and
the oversoul.
The oversoul, I'm sorry, the oversoul.
Yes.
Are there any on our planetary system that we can vibrationally feel currently, or they are higher beings beyond our vibrational frequency
Well,
currently?
you can connect to your own oversoul, but the idea, if you want to stop and think about what this means, is of about the 7.5 billion individual physical beings on your planet, that only represents maybe about 500,000 oversouls.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Does that help?
That makes perfect sense. Thanks.
I know, that's why I said it.
Thanks, Bashar.
You're welcome.